Hello YouTube fans and Star Trek fans out there, it's a review from Star Trek at 99. Now I'm sure if you've all been listening to the world of Trek, everybody has now seen the new Star Trek film. And I did my last video, my description of what I thought the film was going to be like the day before going to see the film in turn. Now as I'm sure we're all aware that we have Chris Pine of course playing the triumphant Captain Kirk. We have Zachary Quintemore playing Spock, Simon Pegg playing Scully, and so forth. And then we have Benedict Cumberbatch playing John Harrison. Who, as I'm going to now be a massive spoiler, so as anyone's watching, you best turn off before I reveal this information. You've not already seen the film. But we all found out now that John Harrison was just a fake name for him, for Starfleet to remember him by, but his real name is actually Khan. Now, as you're all Star Trek fans, which you wouldn't be if you're watching this, but Khan, obviously, as we all know him, he featured in the Space Seed episode where Kirk awoke him from the deep space in Barclay Bay. He's a genetically enhanced human in every way. He's better at everything completely than an average human. As I mentioned, he features in Space Seed. He even had his own. He even featured in a film, which was Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan, which is a really good film. It's now getting back to Into Darkness. It starts out as I said in my last video of we see Kirk and Spock, Kirk and McCoy, running from a alien species. Now the alien species I'm not quite 100% sure, and I'm not sure everyone else knows who they are. I'm not sure at all. So if anyone's got any ideas, throw them out there. Put them on the boxes below. Some comments just to put on forward, but I'm not quite 100% sure of who they are and what they're actually meant to be, to be fair. But we have them two running, and then we jump to another scene where we see Spock, Uhura, Sulu, and in the shuttlecraft, where they're going to lower Spock into a volcano, where he will activate a device which will then render the volcano inert. But it all kind of goes pear-shaped on the lines of the shuttle becoming damaged, Spock being trapped inside the volcano and unable to get out. The Enterprise, as I said as well, is hit into the ocean of this planet because the species is not even developed the wheel yet on the actual factual lines of the timelines itself. But Kirk saves Spock, as always. He does things completely unexpected, and we kind of probably were expecting it, but he rises the Enterprise out of the water and goes and rescues Spock, which he does. And then we have Kirk and Spock as average running into the transport room saying, "Spock, are you alright? Speak to me." And he says, "Captain, what you just did was completely logical." And as average, McCoy turns around and says, "He's fine. Never grateful, never happy. He's fine." And then we see the natives drawing an outline of the Enterprise into the sand itself, which is quite an interesting scene. And we then jump to London, where we are actually introduced to John Harrison, who's Benedict Cumberbatch, who we then see him come out as another person enters a hospital, who are the two people we've been introduced to in London. They come out of London itself, go to a children's hospital, and I think it's their daughter is dying or she has cancer. But if she does have cancer, I'm a little bit surprised at that because I know they try to keep up to date with everything, but if you look back at Enterprise, they actually cured cancer by that time. So whether just try to keep it more factual, I'm not 100% sure. But Benedict Cumberbatch says, obviously, I can save your daughter. if you're willing to do this task for me. And obviously, a willing father who wouldn't decides to go, yes, I will do it, anything to save my daughter. So he does, and then it all unfolds from there. We see Admiral Marcus, who, funnily enough, I was quite surprised when I saw, but I can't remember his name off by heart, but I'm sure we all know him as RoboCop. Yes, we all know him as RoboCop. He also featured in another episode of Star Trek, was Star Trek Enterprise. I can't remember the episode off by heart. He featured in one of the episodes of Enterprise where they had took to Paul, his baby, been made out of their DNA, and then we had obviously them making threats because they were Terra Nova. Was it Terra Nova? Yeah. If it was Terra Nova or not, but they always making threats saying because they don't want the human race being contaminated by obviously aliens. But if you look back on some of these episodes, you'll notice him, or just average, just know him from RoboCop. He features Admiral Marcus. We also have various new characters. We have also included Carol Marcus, included into the new set, who also we see throughout the quite a majority of the film. We then see her again at the end when they actually finally go on the 5-year mission. I don't know if anyone else was quite surprised at that point, but actually when I heard they haven't even gone to the 5-year mission yet, I was really surprised. I thought, oh yeah, Kurt's got the command now, playing by history. He's got the 5-year mission, he's gone. I was really surprised when I heard that. I was thinking, wait a minute, hasn't even got the 5-year mission plan yet? Ay, ay, ay. So he's only just got it now. So I don't know what the next one's going to follow like. Search for Spock, but the next one obviously will be something of a following along the lines of an episode of Star Trek, or he'll make something completely different. Getting back to Star Trek Into Darkness again, I keep veering off this task, don't I? The storyline itself was good. I find the effects are absolutely amazing, as for the first Star Trek film they were amazing again, even better in 3D. It was really good because everything came right out, even the explosions. I mean, the bit where we see the Enterprise taking major hull damage, that was good because it really came out. I mean, I'm sure we all remember from the part of 2009 where the USS Kelvin is in the battle with the Narada. The hull is breached and we see the crewman being sucked out into space, or should I say, female crewman, sucked out into space. We have similar scenes like that again. It's really good because you really feel you're there watching it. It's quite interesting. The USS Vengeance was very good design ship. I found it was the Dreadnought class of all the starships. It was also meant to be a new type of one, like Rebel, because it's meant to be like the wartime, and it really, like I said before, it really dwarfs the Enterprise. The Enterprise looks dinky compared to it. The Enterprise looks like a frigate compared to the, it's like putting an aircraft carrier and then putting like a small frigate next to it. It's really tiny, or a little battleship. It's really tiny. The bit where we have Benedict Cumberbatch, or I'll just say Khan, talking to Kirk about the 72 reasons why you should go to this area of space. Turns out they're the torpedoes, but they're actually his people. I think most people who didn't probably, we should have probably really cottoned on to that, thinking, This new person, very mysterious, acts a lot like Khan. We should really cotton on to this person. 72 people asleep. We should really cotton on to this Khan. Yeah, the storyline from there was good, but I found when we actually got to about the point when we found out he was Khan, it was good. It was like a whole new Star Trek adventure. Once you got to about the point where you found out he was Khan, it kind of followed the path of being Space Seed and the Wrath of Khan. If anyone's watched it, I'm sure most people probably actually will go, well, yeah, I can see where you're thinking that from, or yeah, highly that's correct, really. Because I found it was really just like Space Seed mixed with the Wrath of Khan. Again, it's a good mixture, just a very weird one, to be fair. But like I say, it did work. It was good. It was a good way of doing it all. But we do have one good scene where, well, it's not a good scene. It's a bit of a sad scene where we have like the original death scene for the Wrath of Khan, but in this time, instead of it being Spock, it's Kirk. But it's kind of good because you actually have Zachary doing the Khan moments. That's quite an interesting part. I really did like that. That was a bit. I know it's horrible to be smirking when someone's dying or died in the background, but I kind of smirked as we could. Yeah, that's I thought yeah, William Shatner. William Shatner. It was a very it was a good moment we had that in. I was like, yeah, that's Wrath of Khan. That's Wrath of Khan. But lo and behold, guess who's back, people? Leonard Nimoy himself. Oh yes, we have Spock say, "Hail, New Vulcan." Are we at this right distance? We'll hail them. Hail them. Lo and behold, who comes on the screen? Only Leonard Nimoy. Yes, and he says, he says to me, "I can't tell you about the future, about where I come, obviously what we encountered where we were in space." But obviously, you've mentioned Khan. Well, to be fair, I think I can break it for this because Khan is a very deceptive kind of person. I mean, hell, he is deceptive. I can understand why Admiral Marcus did want to bring him into custody. Not custody, sorry, kill him, because obviously he saw what he was like. We all know what he was like. But Kirk, obviously, we've got to give him the benefit of the doubt. He didn't know who he was, or what he was like. So, although we did have really one scene where Khan actually does crush Admiral Marcus's skull. That's quite we don't actually see it, but you can hear them actually crush in the background. That was a bit of an awkward kind of moment. That's the answer to the bit where we see Carol Marcus scream that they do the very. I don't know. It's a very kind of. I don't know. I can't think of a word for it when she does that moment. It's a very kind of looking what's it, like a very what's it kind of scream. The face where she does it with her face. I can't put a word, but when she does that moment when she screams, that's the moment when she does that. Because obviously, wouldn't you? You've just seen it of your father, your best friend's head being caved in. The ending is good because it ends a lot like the first one, because you do have a lot of references to the first and last film, but the ending of this one's like a lot like the last one. It is good along the lines of it being, like a lot like it was like the last one. To be fair, it really was. Sadly, to all you fans out there who like Christopher Pike, sadly he dies in this one. I'm afraid that kind of hit me. I was like, no. I'm not being sarcastic here. I really was like, no, because I like Captain Pike. I did like him. He was a good character. Yeah, so that's my quick little brief skim over the movie itself. A little bit quick brief. Just the background there, for instance, I have my magazine I got from the cinema, my tickets, obviously here, that's to prove. If you're interested, that's to prove the tickets there. I didn't get anything. Well, I don't know if I was noticed from Cinema, but I didn't get any. But you didn't get anything really. At the Odeon, you got like a badge. You actually got like a little Starfleet badge. I think it's when you actually went to go see the movie. You got your own little badge. You didn't get anything there. I would have liked you did like a special set of glasses, like Geordie kind of ones, but you didn't get anything. There you got a little badge. You didn't get anything here. At Cineworld. I was quite annoyed about that. A bit annoyed. Anyway, thank you for tuning in for another quick review. I hope to hear from you and see you all again on my next video, which will be again probably discussing about Star Trek Into Darkness or Star Trek the video game, or I may talk more about my collection. Thank you for watching. Have a great time, folks, and see you on YouTube.